Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Morning Coffee. I have my coffee locked and loaded, ready to go over the recent news because there were some decisions, very important decisions for the market, or better, no decisions made yesterday. We are going to look into that. We are going to look into why the short term is bearish, the midterm is okay, and the long term is bullish for Bitcoin and the crypto market. We are going to look into some questions that I have received about NFTs, or better, into a decision of the SEC into NFTs, and why some people are fearful for Veve, and why I think there is no reason to be fearful. We are going to look at, once again, what Bezosman is doing every day, because it's getting more and more interesting. Bezosman being the biggest Veve whale in terms of numbers of collectibles. So all of that we are going to discuss right after the intro. So good morning everyone. Hey Omi child, what is going on? Good to see you once again. How are the little ones doing? The little Omi childs. I hope they are fine. And Marty, good morning or evening. Yeah, good morning. I have the Omi coffee ready here. Mr. Planet Profit here. Also, JKRB is here. Good morning. Guys, please make sure to smash up the like button. It's sometimes hard to do something in the morning, but that would be really, really important for me. Justin is here, and Omi is back to triple zeros. Yes, that was expected for several reasons. First of all, retracement after being absolutely overbought. And secondly, there are retracement levels without putting in a new bottom that are in the triple zeros. So we are going to look at this also today in the stream. Walshy is here. Go hard, PH. Love your work. Thank you, Walshy. And I love that you guys are here. So please, if there are more people in here, or people that have not smashed the like button, then please do that. If you're not subscribed yet, then please do that also. And if you think that there should be more people knowing about this, then you could also share the stream in a Telegram group, or in whatever group you are in, like WhatsApp group. Omi Child says, little Omis are sleeping. It's 1:50 a.m. Rarely do I get rare valuable time like this. Hope you are doing well. And then I'm even more honored that you are sharing this time with me and with us. Well, she says there are always gonna be a retracement. Yes, I hope it stays at triple zero for a month or two. So there are still people that want to accumulate Ecomi tokens. So obviously that is going on. But first of all, we want to look at the markets, and therefore going to share my screen. According to Bloomberg, Bitcoin NFTs, no, ordinals not, Bitcoin ETFs have a 75% chance of approval this year. So this is a more likely than not, right? And Bloomberg is not anyone, but on the other side, we have to take this with a grain of salt, obviously. But after the grayscale victory, Bloomberg got more confident and believes that the Bitcoin ETF has a chance of 75% to come this year. So that is a big chance, right? For this year, I thought they might bring the Bitcoin ETF in Q1 2024, and we have discussed yesterday what would be happening if that would happen. So the judges are unanimously repudiated the SEC's arguments, and the agency will struggle to justify further denials as it faces deadlines. And that's exactly, that's exactly what is happening right now, because the SEC yesterday delayed BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF and 6 others. So there were deadlines, either decision or delay or deny. So they could have denied those ETFs, but they didn't. So BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF was the 7th application delayed by the SEC. So here we can read BlackRock, a firm with more than 8.5 trillion, in fact 10 trillion in assets under management, has a decision on its iShares Bitcoin Trust delayed following an application on the SEC. In June, BlackRock lodged an application for a BTC-backed ETF with Coinbase listed as the planned custodian. Almost all of these have Coinbase listed as the custodian of the fund's Bitcoin holdings, and the Bank of New York Mellon in charge of its fiat accounts. So they are complying here. So the rule is you have a crypto custodian, you have a bank as a service provider, that these rules are fulfilled, and BlackRock's filing outlined the value of the shares in removing obstacles represented by the complexities and operational burdens involved in a direct investment in Bitcoin. The ETF delay came after cryptocurrency asset manager Grayscale Investments petitioned to have an SEC decision overturned that had originally denied the listing of its over-the-counter Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, and this is probably where the chances are increasing, because one deadline has fallen without denial, plus Grayscale has won its appeal against the SEC. So all of the Bitcoin ETFs have just been pushed back, and that has caused the market to take a little downturn. Let me quickly pull this up. Bitcoin, let's look at it without lines and then we talk about it. But Bitcoin has been, actually that's still the inverted chart, so let me just flip that back if I can. I can't. There we go. Okay, so this is the correct chart. Bitcoin looks like this. And this dump down here is apparently on the delay of the Bitcoin ETFs. So the market is reacting as if this wasn't priced in, right? So here's the pump, this pump was Grayscale winning, and this dump is the delay of the ETF. So basically that is what has happened. Let's look at a little, what is this? Okay. Let's look at a little bit more here. So this one here is actually a thread, but on why the next bull run of Bitcoin could be epic. So let's deal with the positive long term first. Justin says, why can't I watch YouTube videos in the Veve app? Why can I watch YouTube videos in the Veve app? This looks corny, ASL. What this looks corny. What do you mean by that? Because the YouTube videos have been implemented more than a month ago to be able to watch the videos for the drop information. And anyways, so this is a thread. Again, why the bull run of Bitcoin could be epic. We see this here. We have been pulling up many times all of the cycles. They look the same on a broader scale, diminishing returns. Yes, but we see price action followed by a month-long retracement mostly, and then the halving. We are in we have the first retracement. We are coming up right now. We should have some red months right now, according to this, of last actually we shouldn't, because this was the C crisis, this wick here, right? So in the first ones we really do not have this. We only had a month-long retracement, and then we are coming into a pre-halving boom. Now according to this, if we don't have a black swan, we should just be coiling up slowly but surely with green candles that are very small and that are very probably exhausting to some people, because there's not really something happening. We thought it should be going sideways or a little bit up for a longer time. GM smashed, yes, Green Lantern Dr. Knut, good morning. Thank you for smashing the like button. So the next one is, this is interesting. The big elephant in the room is crypto adoption. The real question is when there will be a use case besides the store of value for the masses, rather than if there will be a use case. The real question is when there will be a use case besides. Okay. Alongside industry giants like Amazon and PayPal, X is gearing up for crypto adoption. So I would even argue that we are here in this early adopter stage, because company-wise, yes, but from normal people, from the point of perspective, I don't know if we are not just on the verge here of the early adopters, because early adopters says like 13.5%. If we look at the world population of 8 billion people and we consider that there are only 48 million Bitcoin wallets, and considering that almost every Bitcoin user has more than one wallet, that would bring us down to significantly below 25 million, more likely 15 million real Bitcoin users, because every time you buy Bitcoin on a different exchange, you get a new wallet address for Bitcoin. So I, for example, have a little bit Bitcoin on Gate.io. I have Bitcoin on Bitpanda. I have Bitcoin wallet address on my ledger. So that's at least 3 for me, right? And there are people that have way more. I would argue that we are still somewhere between innovators and early adopters, but from other factors, we could argue that we are in the early adopter stage, yes. So now with the companies, obviously, we are looking at Bitcoin ETFs, we are looking at PayPal bringing stable coins, we are looking at Twitter getting money transmitter licenses, and so on. So X will implement a crypto payment system. This is very likely an Elon Musk big plan. X would become the hawk of the global financial system worldwide. Now, the increased number of users will drive the price. As more people own or express interest in buying Bitcoin, the price will go up. So here we see also the millions of users that I've just discussed. And as we see, according to the users, we are at 48 million users. That's nothing. That is really nothing. And you could even apply this curve here to NFTs, to digital collectibles, right? So you could ask yourself, how many people are there, for example, that use Veve NFTs? And we know that in comparison to the 48 million addresses here, Veve has 30,000 active addresses in a month. So that's, even if you take all the wallet addresses on Veve that exist, you are only at 650,000. So yeah, you would still be in the innovator stage, right? So there are big returns from that innovator stage coming. Now, we had seen this. The ETF application will drive the price. That's 100% clear. Maybe too obvious, but for many people, the way to invest, as they have invested their money in the stock market for the last 40 years, it will be now in ETFs for Bitcoin, if they bring it, and they will bring it, because there is there is this, let's say, the demand for a guided a custodian that that brings people safely without having to do KYC on exchanges and wallet addresses and making mistakes into ETFs. We all know that self-custody is the way, but there are many people, older people also, that do not want to go through this, but would still have liked some exposure to Bitcoin. So yeah, we basically see here all of the Bitcoin ETFs that have been filed. So Volatility Shares, Bitwise, Roundhill, VanEck, ProShares, Grayscale, right? Direction and so on. So these are all. Um, by the way, these are futures and derivative based ETFs. So these ETFs already exist, right? So Valkyrie Investments and where is it? Grayscale and Van Eck, they already have their future based ETFs, right? So yeah. Uh, some questions here in the chat. Let's go quickly to another screen. Okay, so let me just address this while pulling this up so you can look at this already. JKRB says, I hope it stays at 000 for a month or two. We are going to look in the charts in a second. Why can I watch YouTube? Okay, that we already had. I would have liked to stay a bit above 001 with OMI. Looks nicer. JKRB says, PH, what are the other coins you are into? Oh, yeah. Other coins I'm into, Chainlink, Cardano, Polygon, Render, Chiliz. VeChain is one of my bigger bags. I have a little bit of Degen plays for one more that is not Degen, but that I have is Arweave. But then I have like more Degen, Cadena, Phantom, Taraxa, Tap. Yeah, and a little bit of here and there. But that's more or less what I've. But my biggest bags are Bitcoin, Ecomi, VeChain. These are the biggest bags of my portfolio. Does Veve have Pokemon? We don't know. We don't know, but we will find out. So Bitcoin's price follows a robust pattern, and not engaging with it doesn't seem very wise. So we see here what is in front of us. And guys, I really have to. I can't stress this enough. I have to hammer this home. If you have been surviving this bear market, there is almost only good times now ahead for you for the next 2 years. This was one of the longest, most brutal, most violent markets that had a lot of shakeouts. Not only in Ecomi and Veve, but also, yeah. One thing that I want to point out here, just so you have heard it, I don't know what the sources are, but this tweet made a lot of noise, is that sources state that sealed Binance motions this week are riddled with heavy claims. One source, given the nature of the issues here, surprised we, the SEC, are taking this on, should be in the hands of the DOJ, which is the Department of Justice, at this point. Was instructed to go back and look at Bislato claims, indictments, and then at scale. So Bislato was one of the illegal exchanges that has been shut down. So what does this mean? This is alleging that Binance has been doing a lot of illegal stuff. We don't know that yet, but apparently someone from the SEC has been quoting this. We don't know if this is only FUD or if this is real, but I wanted that you have this in the back of your head, that there could be still the black swan coming that we have once per cycle. But we really don't want to see Binance going down, right? We don't want to see that. Then this also interesting. Bitcoin withdrawals from exchanges are outpacing deposits at the highest rate since the FTX collapse. So during the FTX collapse, it was to save funds. Now it seems to be that people are just adding to their ledgers, their cold wallets. So there are currently 58,000 BTC being withdrawn for every 45,000 BTC deposited. So there's an overflow of, or an overlap, or how do you say this? A leftover of 13,000 BTC that are outflowing instead of inflowing. So exchange BTC is still collapsing, right? And this is this seems to be on a half-year basis here, so this is really a longer-term trend. Um, yeah, this we can go over this. This is all the same. This is all the same. Today we're going to go over this, so we save a little bit of time here. Let's look quickly at the DXY, because the DXY has has been recovering a little bit, although we have been rejected at this level. And actually, if you look clearly, it's still a little bit lower than this. So if you look at the height of this one versus this one, it's slightly to the downside. It almost looks the same, but it's slightly lower. It's this high here, this candle close. So we could still hope for more downside on the DXY, which would bring us the necessary crypto push that we need. Now let's talk about this for Bitcoin, right? So and enable the many lines. So Bitcoin had this looks almost like a pump and dump, but it was basically in the sense it was used, but it's like good news, bad news, and we are back right where we were before. Now, what I wanted to point out here, and this is why I had the chart inverted. If you invert the chart, look for Bitcoin on the top, we can see a cup and handle pattern. And now we only have to be careful that we are not on the logarithmic scale. So just let me see if is this a log chart or not. I think it doesn't make too much of a difference. I think that's the log and that's the non-log. Okay, so just if we want to look at the price target here of this, let's say conservatively, we just take the middle of this, right? And then we put this here as if we would break, and this is if we would break this, right? Now, oops, we are actually. Why is this so similar? It should be this, right? Okay, let me just see. Okay, so this is the correct one, I think. Yeah. Okay, so this is the target. Okay, so if this cup and handle would break, we would be looking at the 22,000 Bitcoin. And this is so to say the worst case, right? If this happens for the short term. If we lose this level, we are looking at so this noisy area, so to say. We're looking at we're looking at touching onto this high base, this little high here, this little overhead resistance that would become a new support. If we would lose this level, this could be only a wick crash or something like that. We don't know. But if we would, and by the way, if we would come down to 22,000, I would buy a portion of Bitcoin again. But just keep in mind that we're talking bullish all the time, right? Like, oh, Bitcoin ETFs, Valkyrie and BlackRock and Wisdom Tree and I don't know what, and all the good stuff that is coming out and all the countries that need to move into Bitcoin, yada yada. But there are whales, there are market makers, there are bad news in the short term, there are rate hikes, so we could lose this level and we could still be bullish and we could form another, like this, another higher low from this, so that you would have something like this, right, in the trend. So just that you are aware that could be, if we break this level, this yellow line, there could be a buying opportunity coming up. And this doesn't have to crash just in a straight line down. This could like come like this and then bounce a little bit here and then come down, right? This could take the entire September. People are expecting a red September, but if people are expecting a red September, everyone expecting a red September, and everyone goes short, whales could just decide to liquidate all the shorts and make the September green for once. It could happen. Doesn't have to happen, but could happen. Now, also, Nasdaq broader picture weekly chart, just that we are aware of what's going on here, is looking, so that is looking something like a double bottom here on the minor scale. We have broken this very long trend line for the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq is relevant for us as crypto is highly correlated, and the Nasdaq is actually rallying since since a week almost, since the Nvidia news, which is this pump and dump here. But overall, the Nasdaq is going up. The volume is largely green. So the big question is now, can we just continue from this trend with this gap to put in another uptrend, right? And with that, start trending up with crypto. That would be interesting. Also here we saw a double bottom and we were trending up for the Nasdaq. So the important thing here is on the very macro for the Nasdaq, that we do not put in a lower lower high here and then crash and do something like this and go into a mega long downtrend. But I think quantitative easing could be coming in before we even have the chance to, because if every of these, so this is a daily, maybe there's no easing, it's just stopping of rate hiking. But if we're looking at the weekly, I mean, look at this. The important thing here would be really to have this kind of a rally, right? So that we really only follow a trend up here once again. And this will not happen if we have massive rate hiking and bad news from the economy. Then this would not be happening. The question is, can we put in another high on this one? Bitcoin dominance is going up slightly. Let's refresh this also. Also Bitcoin dominance has formed the same pattern here, almost. So is going up slightly right now. Altcoins will lose once Bitcoin is resuming the uptrend. Let me see here. Walrus King is here. Yo, mate, what is going on, Walrus King? Do you like Steinfeld? Yada yada. I don't. Actually, I just say the yada yada, but I am not into Steinfeld or Steinfeld. That's just a form of me saying this. Oh. Altcoin market. We are cautiously observing how the altcoin market behaves here, because we really do not want to lose this level for the altcoin market, the overall altcoin market. But this is playing out since a long time. This is daily candles, and this could take weeks to get a decision up, down. We don't know. Let's talk about Omi. So Ecomi. Here we go. There we go. Ecomi. Yes, Ecomi has been retracing. There is this. Actually, what is this? We have a gap here. Now I understand what you're talking about. I was looking at this, but then I saw that basically between 1 and 2 candles there is just a gap. Do you see this? This candle just opened within a crash apparently of the price. This could be because this exchange has very little liquidity that I'm looking at, but the price chart is still okay to look at. But okay, Ecomi is sitting here. Basically, we have been losing this level. The big question, or it was clear that we would retrace because we did hit this overhead resistance, right? So here's a stronger resistance line with confluence now. we have been hitting this, trying to get above it 3 days in a row, and we were already severely overbought. So if you look at this, it was clear that we had to cool down in terms of this indicator. So we could be coming down until we are getting in a level of where this indicator would be, considering a bullish momentum, somewhere at 40, so somewhere here. This takes a while. This can come with sideways movement. It can still look like this. But with retracements, you get more choppy downturns until we are getting in a more oversold territory, right? So I don't see a problem actually. I think this is healthy for Ecomi. I think we could see a retracement to this level and then come back up again, or at least maybe not to this, but close to this, so that we ditch on this top here. This would be around 000845. I think, so what has been shown, and I was wrong about this before, in the sense of that I thought that 001 would be the massive psychological barrier, but 001 is here. We have just been shooting through 001, and we have just been falling through 001 once again. So there is actually no orders directly at 001. There are orders above and there are orders below. So 001 is not the big deal. The big deal is the overall pattern. We had an accumulation base. We broke out of it. We formed a bigger rally, and now we're retracing from that rally. And the big question is to here or a little bit lower. But I think we will put in a lower high, right, in the more macro. And that is very healthy for Ecomi, because then whales, new TA guys, people that are looking at Ecomi, they will see, oh, that is a bullish pattern. That could be a good buying opportunity. So they are really looking at something like this. Breakout, big retracement, boom, right? So really coming above these levels. This is one opportunity, right? Or one option that Ecomi could behave in this way. The other option is that we could be just slowly trickling down like this, or better like this, like an A, B, C, and then from there we go, right? So there could be some sideways action coming for Ecomi that takes a longer time, and that shows us really that we have some kind of a bear market trough here. And even if I draw it like this, let's draw one more option. Let's draw one more possibility for Ecomi. This would be actually my most favorited one. Trickling down, coming up, and then cup, handle, boom, right? So could this be happening? Yes, it could also be that there is a handle just forming like this, falling channel, and then you have cup, handle, then you get here, trying to get above this, boom, right? Actually, I drew this a little bit wrong. Actually, you would have, one more thing, you would have it here, so going like this, falling channel, breakout, retest, coming up, trying to breach this level because this is the relevant level, and then boom. That is what the cup and handle could look like on Ecomi. If there was a cup and handle, we don't know. But for that, the retracement shouldn't be too deep. What we really do not want to see is flash crash into this area, continuing and having just two peaks here. That's really what we do not want to see, right? We do not want to see this. Yeah, we do want to see something like this that we can. So, cup and handle, what do you guys think? Smash the like button if you want to see the cup and handle. But yeah, also our big breakout here, right? So I don't see a way other than retracement, right? We turned bearish, right, or red right now. Let's talk about the NFTs, because some people have been asking me what I think about this. So can we have this a little bit more visible for you guys? Let me get out of the way. So in a first, the SEC says NFTs sold by an LA-based entertainment firm are securities. Here is how that could ripple through the industry. And I cannot read the article anymore. This is funny because I could read it before, but I can tell you what it's about. So the Impact Theory is a big YouTube channel that is making interviews. Tom Billier is making interviews with a lot of big people in the industry, like Ray Dalio, like I don't know, a lot of like these coaches and mental and stuff like that. And he's also in crypto, and they have launched an NFT collection that would give users, with a promise that this would return value for users. And they have been ordered by the SEC to, with a slap on the wrist, for $6 million fine that they had to pay, and that they had to destroy the NFTs. So there would be no NFTs, no utility. The funny thing is that they overall raised more than $30 million with the NFTs. They have to pay $6 million, so it's still worth the deal. But the problem, obviously, for the users is that the NFTs are worthless right now. So this is a big deal. But people were asking me about this impact theory thing, and also about NFT Top Shots and so on, because they want to know if Veve NFTs could be security, or if the OMI token could be labeled as security. And I think the clear answer to this is no, because in the sense of so only discussing the impact theory NFTs, basically you would they have issued the NFTs with the promise of future returns. So they have put out articles that are as a basis with the promise that if you would hold these NFTs, they would be valuable based on the actions of impact theory. So this is clear Howey test saying that if the value of an asset depends directly on the actions of that underlying company, then these are securities, which is also probably the reason why David Yu at some point diluted the market to lower the value of the NFTs to right after the drop, so that there would not be any possibility to label Veve NFTs as a security with some kind of employee promise of future returns. So actually what happened is that people got absolutely hammered on these NFT prices. They bought on drop and the price fell below market value in a lot of these cases, right? And then in a bull run they will recover, but then it doesn't matter anymore. The other side was obviously that they wanted to take on more profits, take on more money, liquidity from the market, and prove to licensors, as they said, to not leave money on the table. But the important point here is that Veve NFTs are not falling in this category, because the price action on the secondary market does not depend solely on the actions of a company. So the other thing is with NFT Top Shots, that the NFTs on NFT Top Shots are built on the Flow blockchain, and they would become useless if the Flow blockchain would be taken down. So Flow, operated by a private firm, if the NFTs on that blockchain would go down, and it's the same firm that issues those NFTs, then the value of the NFTs again depends on this firm. Now, in that case, the value would go to zero, not up, but still it's a problem for the SEC. Again, labeled as security. Now, for Veve is the thing, they they issued the NFTs as Veve. The NFTs are not minted on Ecomi. In fact, they are minted on IMX, which is another company, completely different, another ecosystem, and technically, as they are ERC20 compatible, you could enable interoperability for all those NFTs so that you could mint them on layer 1, and then they would still survive, which is not the case for some of these other NFTs. So there you have it. In my opinion, Veve is taking care that they are not in the spotlight of being labeled as security. Okay, let's look at talking about this. Let's look at Veve channel here, what we have as upcoming drops. By the way, guys, if you have different opinions to that, then please let me know. But here's the first one already that we should talk about. Marvel collectible burns have actually already been done. It's now the 1st of September. Howard the Duck, Secret Rare and Ultra Rare have been burned, as well as Kang and the Rare and the Ultra Rare of the Kang drop. These drops did not sell out. Now there is a portion of those burned. Gorillionaire here suggests, what if you just few days before burning collectibles went 25% off or something? I don't like this. I think this is the way to really burn this, because you don't want to throw out collectibles for a lower price and then screw everyone over that has participated on the drop. I think that would be highly unfair, so I don't like this idea. In fact, I think you are being rewarded if you have participated in the drop or bought on secondary market, and the rest of the stuff gets burned. You are holding a more scarce collectible because you are already in that collectible, so you are being rewarded. I think that is good. These burns are happening from time to time. I think there should be also other burns coming up in the near future for a lot of these comics that did not sell out. Then we have been celebrating yesterday the Marvel Comics #1 that made its debut in 39. Pop culture would transform storytelling forever. We are honored to be able to bring these characters and stories to a new generation. So it's good that they made a post about this, so that more people can actually know that this comic is on Veve. Prince says, holding 60 ultra rares, let it burn. Yes, it's already burned. I think if you look at it, it's already burned. Then Veve is also bringing the movie posters from the Predator series. It's a primal fight for survival, paying homage to the blockbuster science fiction franchise. 5 digital posters in Predator movie poster series. So this is a follow-up to the Alien ones. I really like the frames of these. Although it's probably a buy if I buy one of these posters that on the secondary market. And Ecomi is tweeting more and more. Probably there's something coming in the next days or weeks, because they are very active again, which is good to see. We also should look at some replies. Let's see if we find anything interesting here. So Alex G says, while you should absolutely go to the show anyways, be advised that Veve official is not yet confirmed to attend. Don't want folks making travel plans unless they plan to taking in all this amazing show and its artists have to offer. So this is DesignerCon, and Veve is not confirmed yet for DesignerCon, and that is surprising, right? So yeah, Veve is not. We don't know when it is. Tickets on sale tomorrow, so probably in the end of the year once again. Now the big question is, why is Veve not present at DesignerCon? I thought they are selling design collectibles, and this has been good for them. But maybe it's still coming. Then there are also these sweepstakes here. Yeah, Veve says here now. Have you entered? Okay. So, Mo Collection says, why does the Veve official seem to have such a strong, active, and faithful community compared to other platforms and cryptos? The Veve official community is connected emotionally to the product Veve delivers, the balance between nostalgia and cutting-edge tech, and so on. And they have been responding to this as well with collectors at heart. Now let's look at whales at heart, because obviously we cannot get enough, and this guy also can't get enough. So Bezosman has been just adding another 800 collectibles to why isn't this loading? So there we go. To the list. We are just updating this once more in case that there's anything new. While this is loading, we are also going to look at what he bought, because he is not buying only cheap stuff anymore. He's buying a lot. Look at this. It has he has, okay, I rephrase. Bezosman has been adding another 1,000 collectibles from yesterday to today to its stack, ramping up to over 24,000. Yesterday he barely was above 23,000 collectibles. Now he's above, he or they are above, because could be a group of people, right? Above, now heading to 25,000 collectibles. Guys, this is no joke, this is no drill. We cannot disregard that also the others are buying. Dr. Profit minted 3 collectibles. This number 3 whale 17, which is I think this Danny boy, I don't know. Then 38 collectibles here for number 4 and 566 net accumulation. None of these are selling one collectible. This guy here flipped something, right? But 53 plus, -1, we can disregard this, selling one collectible. And then 23, 50, and so on. So there is a lot of, oh, you didn't see that, so there we go. So here you see it above me, right? And this whale is still selling off. Number 26 is still selling off. We say goodbye to the top 25. But yeah, overall, big accumulation. Now the big question is, wait a second, that's not it, that's it. So this is Bezosman from yesterday still, and Bezosman has been buying a secret rare of the new Avengers drop. He's been buying another Fantastic Four Doctor Doom secret rare, so at least 2 of them right now. We know that because he has 0 sales, so we know that all of these transfers must be purchases. And if we refresh this, we see once again a lot of but look at this, for example, he bought 3 secret rares of the Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man. So he bought a Journey into Mystery ultra rare of the Jim 83. He bought ultra rares of the new drop, of the Avengers drop. He bought an ultra rare. He bought Disney posters, or minted them maybe also, we don't know. Yeah, so that he's been buying a lot of stuff. So yeah, that has been going on. Bezosman is killing it. I love this account holder. It's beautiful to see someone with such conviction. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that is where we also want to take a look at, right? At the conviction level of these guys. Because usually when smarter money is taking action like this, I mean, smart money is not known for burning their money. Obviously, they can make mistakes, but there must be a reason also for this. The last thing that I want to show to you guys is this unique holder development. So we have actually 2 bigger jumps in this. If we look at, so the last number on July 3rd was 652,144, and now we are at 654,122. So from here to here, we have roughly 2,000 new user wallets. So while there might be some that are not genuine, there are also new people in the space for sure. And yeah, you see it like with every bigger drop, we get new users, and then we have some trickling down of people that are selling, of flippers, of drive-by flippers, of but it's only like so much of a retracement, right? So the overall trend is very clear here, trend up, and I think people like Bezosman are seeing these wallet trends. And I cannot stress this enough. If you take, for example, yesterday I got the ultra rare on the drop of this comic. So this ultra rare has only 500 editions. The rare that many people or some of you got is 1000 editions. So only the users that we got from July to today, there's not enough of the secret rare and the ultra rare for only these new users. There is just barely enough for these new users in terms of the rare. So if we take all the existing users into this, yeah, we should be having a fight over scarce collectibles very soon, right? So I can't wait to go into the bull run with all of these new users that are coming in and see how does this curve look when we get new users in the bull run, when people see that collectibles, not only the very scarce ones but also the other ones with a couple of thousand editions, are shooting up in prices and people are getting excited again, and you are again in this range where you almost do not hit any drops and you have to buy on the secondary market. Yeah, so and I really want to see how Bezosman is acting in a bull market. Is he going to gradually and slowly selling off? Will he just keep holding and wait for a bull market peak to massively dump? Or will he just continue to hodl because he has a longer game? This will be very, very interesting, and we will for sure be here to cover all of that, right? So yeah, that is that. Okay, guys, I think that's it for today. It's a freaking Friday, so I hope you guys will have an awesome weekend. I will be traveling once again on the weekend, but there is no crypto morning coffee at the moment on weekends anyways, except when something really crazy is happening. But next week, Monday to Friday, hopefully, we are going to be back every day with the Crypto Morning Coffee. So guys, make sure to smash up the like button on your way out, subscribe to the channel, tick the little bell to get notified when I go on live on next Monday. And I really appreciate you all being here today. If you watch this later, leave a comment. What do you think about all of this? And we are heading again into exciting times. We are here covering every step into this halving, and it's going to be really, really exciting. So one day we will just make this morning stream and it's the halving, and we will look at where are we with prices. It will be absolutely insane. It will be absolute fire. So thank you very much all for being here, and wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night or afternoon, and I see you